Hello students, welcome to the course Electricity and Magnetism for FYBSc Physics Paper 2 Semester 2 as per the revised syllabus of Savitribai Phule Pune University CBCS 2019 pattern. So we are studying our fourth chapter Magnetostatics. In this lecture we will study the Ampere's circuital law and its various applications. So what is meant by magnetostatics? So magnetostatics is the study of magnetic fields in systems where the currents are steady, that is they are not changing with time. So it is a magnetic analog of electrostatics where the charges are stationary. So magnetostatics is a branch of electromagnetic studies involving magnetic fields produced by steady non-time varying currents. So let us see the Ampere's circuital law. In the previous lecture, we have studied the Biot-Savart law. So Ampere's law gives another method to calculate the magnetic field due to a given current distribution. So Ampere's circuital law in magnetostatics is analogous to Gauss law in electrostatics. It states that the line integral of magnetic field B vector around a closed curve or loop is equal to mu 0 times the total current I through the area bounded by the closed curve. That is, so closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 I, where mu 0 is the permeability of free space. So let us see the proof of this theorem. Let us consider a long straight conducting wire carrying a current I, and according to Biot-Savart's law, the magnitude of magnetic induction B vector at a distance r from it is given by B is equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. So its direction is tangent to the circle of radius r centered on the wire, right? So this direction of B is tangent to this circle of radius r. Now let us consider a line element dl on the circle. The magnitude of field B is constant at all points on the circle and is parallel to the circle element dl, that is, it is tangent to the circle at every point. Then we have integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral over B dl cos theta, which is equal to integral over B dl, since both B vector and dl vector are parallel and therefore theta is equal to 0, and therefore we can write, so this integral is equal to B into closed integral over dl, since B is same on every point on the loop, and therefore we can write 2 pi r into B. So closed integral over dl gives us the circumference of the circle of radius r, and that circumference is 2 pi r. So thus closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to 2 pi rb. Let us call it equation number 2. So substituting the value of B from equation 1 into equation 2, we get closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to 2 pi r into mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. So we can write closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 into I. The above relation is called as Ampere's circuital law. Now let us study the applications of Ampere's circuital law. Let us see the first application, field of a solenoid. A solenoid is a wire wound closely in the form of a helix. The wire is coated with an insulating material so that although the adjacent turns physically touch each other, they are electrically insulated. Generally, length of the solenoid is large as compared to the transverse dimensions. For example, if the solenoid has circular turns, the length is large as compared to its radius. If it is rectangular in shape, the length should be large as compared to the edges. Solenoids are components of choice when such fields are required in confined spaces especially for electromechanical devices. So this is a long solenoid carrying current. So these are the turns of the wires, and you can see the number of lines of force passing through this coil, right? So the lines of force, we know that they start from the north pole and they end on south pole when we see outside the solenoid, but inside the solenoid we can see they are going from the south pole to north pole. So let us consider a solenoid having length very much large compared to its diameter, right? So it is carrying a current I. So this figure shows a vertical cross section through the axis of a solenoid. For application of Ampere's law, consider a rectangular loop P, Q, R, S and P such that side PQ is parallel to the axis of the solenoid, right? And RS is also parallel to the axis of the solenoid. According to Ampere's circuital law, integral over B dot dl is equal to mu 0 I. Closed integral over B vector dot dl vector can be written as the sum of four integrals, one for each path segment, and therefore we can write, so closed integral over this loop PQRSP is equal to, so closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral from P to Q B vector dot dl vector plus integral from Q to R B vector dot dl vector plus integral from R to S B vector dot dl vector plus integral over S to P B vector dot dl vector. So we can solve these integrals separately and sum of them to get the closed integral over entire loop. And therefore, so the points R and S are outside the solenoid. Since B outside solenoid is 0, hence for this case we have integral over R to S B vector dot dl vector is equal to 0, right? Also, since B vector inside the solenoid is parallel to the axis of the solenoid, path segment QR and SP are perpendicular to B vector, and for that case theta is equal to 90 degree, and hence integral over Q to R B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral over S to P B vector dot dl vector is also 0, since the theta is 90 degree and we know that cos 90 is 0, and therefore we get these two integrals are 0. So only one integral left, and that is from P to Q. So substituting equation 4 and 5 in equation 3, we get closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral from P to Q B vector dot dl is equal to integral over P to Q B dl cos theta. So substituting B vector and dl vector are parallel at any point on the path PQ, we have theta is equal to 0 degree, right? So also the length of PQ is equal to L, and therefore closed integral over B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral over B dl cos 0, which is equal to integral over B dl, which is equal to BL, and thus we get BL is equal to mu 0 I, right? So where B is magnetic field at a point well inside the solenoid and I is the current crossing the area enclosed by the closed loop, right? So if a given solenoid consists of n turns uniformly wound over the length L, number of turns per unit length is small n is equal to capital N upon L, and therefore number of turns in length L is n upon L into L, so length of our segment PQ, and therefore we get n into L, right? And therefore current flowing through the area enclosed by given loop is I is equal to NL into I0. Substituting the equation 7 in our equation 6, so we get BL is equal to mu 0 NL I0, right? Or we can cancel out this L from both sides, so we get B is equal to mu 0 N I0, right? So thus it is seen from the above equation that B is independent of the length and diameter of the solenoid, and hence it is uniform over the cross section of the solenoid, right? So B is independent of the diameter, so it is not depend on the radius or diameter of the solenoid. Also it is not depend on the length of the solenoid, right? So that means B is uniform over the cross section of the solenoid, right? Consider another Amperian loop ABCD as shown in figure, right? For this loop, the paths AB and CD are outside the loop, and hence integral along this loop is 0. The other two loops BC and DA are perpendicular to B vector, and hence integral is 0 for these loops also, and hence for the loop ABCD which is outside the solenoid, the closed integral is equal to 0, right? And therefore the magnetic field over the closed loop ABCD is also 0. Thus the total line integral over the closed loop integral over B vector dot dl is equal to 0. Hence magnetic field along such loop is 0, right? So we have seen a solenoid. So let us see the applications of solenoid. The solenoid is commonly found in automatic locking mechanisms. Some of the most obvious applications include door locks for offices, hotels and high security areas. While the locking mechanism remains locked, the solenoid does not consume power. However, it consumes a bit of electrical energy when it unlocks. Hence, some locks are usually designed with battery slots also. Another application of solenoid is used in the medical field, right? So it is very useful in medical applications or medical field. Since medical equipments have to be very precise and accurate, solenoid manufacturing of medical purposes has to adhere to strict standards like human lives are at stakes, right? So solenoid valves are used for various applications, right? So solenoid valves are ideal for oxygen delivery systems, gas analysis equipments, patient monitoring, air calibration devices, gas chromatography devices and other medical instrumentation with flow control needs and limited space, right? So the solenoid is also a vital component of many industrial machines. So solenoid valves are used in controlling water pressure in sprinkler systems, air pressure in the air monitoring system and many more. Now let us move to the another application of Ampere's circuital law, that is to calculate the field of a toroid. So what is toroid, right? So if a solenoid is bent in the circular shape and the ends are joined, we get a toroid. It consists of a circular ring of non-conducting material closely wounded by a conducting wire on it. A toroid is used as an inductor in electronic circuits, especially at low frequencies where comparatively large inductances are necessary. A toroid has more inductance for a given number of turns than a solenoid with a core of the same material and similar size. So this makes it possible to construct high inductance coils of reasonable physical size and mass. Toroidal coils of a given inductance can carry more current than solenoidal coils of similar size because larger diameter wires can be used and the total amount of wire is also less, therefore reducing the resistance, right? Now the magnetic field on such a toroid can be obtained by using Ampere's law. Suppose we have to find out the field at a point P inside the toroid, right? So let the distance from P from the center be R, right? Draw a circle through the point P and concentric with the toroid. By symmetry, the field will have equal magnitude at all points of the circle and therefore the field is everywhere tangential to the circle. Thus, we get the closed integral over the closed loop B vector dot dl vector is equal to integral over b dl cos 0, which is equal to integral over b dl, which is equal to b dot 2 pi r, where 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle of radius r. If the number of turns is n, the current crossing the area bounded by the circle is n I0, where I0 is the current in the toroid. And using Ampere's law on the circular loop, integral over b vector dot dl vector is equal to mu 0 n I0. Using equation 9 and 10, we get b dot 2 pi r is equal to mu 0 n I0, and therefore b is equal to mu 0 n I0 upon 2 pi r. And thus the magnitude of the magnetic induction B varies inversely with r, and if L be the mean circumference of the toroid, then L is equal to 2 pi r, and therefore we get B is equal to mu 0 n I0 upon L, which is equal to B is equal to mu 0 n I0, since n is equal to capital N upon L, that is number of turns per unit length. So this is the expression for magnetic field due to a toroid. The magnetic field at a point outside the toroid is 0 because each turn of winding passes twice the area enclosed by the circle through that point, carrying equal currents in opposite directions. So the total current within the circle is 0. Let us see the applications of toroid. For most of the practical purposes, they can be used for windings in air or on core of non-magnetic, non-superconducting material. Toroids are found in thermonuclear fusion research to maintain constant control of nuclear reactions. So toroids are expected to play very important role in an equipment tokamak for plasma confinement in fusion power reactors. So this is a device that is called as tokamak, which is used in nuclear fusion power reactors, right? So these are some of the applications of toroids. In summary, we have learned about the Ampere's circuital law, and we have seen various applications like field of a toroid and field of a solenoid. Thank you.